Are you still investigating those reports of a cyborg ninja roaming around Central Park, mate?
No, I finished up there an hour ago. Turned out it was a Metal Gear Solid cosplayer who had to walk home when his mom forgot to pick him up.
Well, shouldn't you be back by now? Where are you?
Around and about. On an unrelated subject, could you possibly look up a map reference for me, faithful assistant?
You're lost again, aren't you?
I am not lost. I know exactly where I am. I just don't know where anyone or anything else is in relation to me.
I stand corrected. Alright, switch your GPS tracker on again. There's a reason I gave you that, you know.
You know, you really do nag a lot for a man, old friend. Are you sure you're not on the turn?
If I was, the sight of your ass in Lycra would soon set me straight again. Pun intended.
Okay, my GPS tracker is on. Can you see me?
Hang about, I'm not at my desk.
Can you see me on the Patriot Pewter's radar?
Yes, you're in our linen closet. Again.
We have a linen closet?
Where did you think all the clean towels came from?
I just assumed that a Hispanic woman was being paid substantially less than minimum wage to provide them.
So if you finished in Central Park an hour ago, where have you been since then?
Pontificating in the Fortress of Solitude. I'd give it a few minutes if I was you. That mutton vindaloo really disagreed with me.
Charming. You've had a busy night, mate. Why don't you have a shower and we'll watch something on Netflix?
What have they got?
I'm quite keen to watch The Social Network. You like Armie Hammer, don't you?
Well, I'm not much of a fan of his acting, old friend, but I am rather fond of his toothpaste.
Do you need another mission, or are you going to call it a night now?
I've had enough of it for tonight, old chum. A few of the guys from True Believers are taking me gay clubbing.
You're going gay clubbing?
I am if I can find my good club.
Alright then, I'll see you later. If I'm already in bed when you get home, try not to stumble drunkenly over the cord to the Patriot alarm. The landlord is really starting to wonder why he keeps waking up to the sound of a submarine alarm and a bloody huge light beam in the sky marked with the shape of a giant fist.
I can assure you, old friend, that I...
Blimey, someone's trying to call us on the Patriot phone.
Maybe it's that lady from earlier who was concerned that I wasn't getting the best value long-distance calls. I think I was in there.
It's the Bleeding Heart.
I thought I could detect the stench of gin and despair. Let's just hope she hasn't run out of sanitary towels.
Patriot Cave, cowardly assistant speaking.
Melvin, I was afraid I wouldn't catch you since it's so late.
Nighttime is the best time for me to work on updating the Patriot Mobile software. If I leave the Patriot Pewter unattended during the daytime, I'll come back to find a fat man in a purple suit trying to install Candy Crush Saga on it.
I need your assistance. I've just received word of a shocking attack on our nation's values. Are you sitting down?
One of the benefits of a desk job.
Word is spreading of a treacherous plot to undermine the libertarian values on which our nation was founded.
Not another religious rights group boycotting HBO over Real Time with Bill Maher.
worse. There is an offensive computer game due for release on Windows, Mac, and Linux very shortly. We have to do something to stop it.
Computer game? Hang on a minute, love. You know how I feel about censoring or banning computer games. As a paid-up liberal, I believe in the inviolable freedom of expression. Unless it gives me an opportunity to get on my high horse on behalf of people of other genders, races, nationalities, religions or sexual preferences who manifestly need the support of a white Anglo-Saxon male with too much time on his hands.
Balderdash, socialist sidekick! This is exactly the sort of event we should be involved in. I keep telling you that the Supreme League of Patriots should be taking more of a stand on issues of public morality.
We're always taking a stand on moral issues, mate. I only wish we weren't always on the side of evil.
I know you enjoy your video games, old friend, but you must admit, playing Call of Duty so much has started to affect other parts of your life.
Like what?
Whenever the professor checks attendance in class, you always call out, "Solid copy!"
As long as you keep a healthy balance of activities, violent video games don't do any harm, mate. All things in moderation, as my Uncle Pete used to say.
Whatever happened to your Uncle Pete anyway?
Became a heroin addict.
It's not just the violence I'm worried about. This game openly mocks politics and religion. The state and church aren't strong enough to withstand public ridicule.
Why not? Seems to me that the church is fair game, especially since that last pope who used to be part of the Hitler Youth.
The Pope explained that when he was in the Hitler Youth, he was young and unwilling.
Oh, it's good to know that the Catholic Church now recognises young and unwilling.
I can see you two are too engrossed in your internal ideological debate to join me in preventing this monstrosity from being unleashed on the public, so I'll find assistance elsewhere.
Oh, don't be like that. Look, just give us a few minutes to have a mature discussion of the issues at stake and reach a rational judgment based on the public good, and we'll get back to you.
Fine. How long do you think you'll need?
Not long. How long could it take for the best of 5 at rock, paper, scissors? About this game, mate.
What about it, considerate companion?
We should get out there and make sure the Bleeding Heart and her cronies don't succeed in their mission of censorship.
I find myself in a bit of a quandary, old friend. My natural conservatism makes me a big fan of censorship, particularly when it comes to anything I disagree with.
But mate, this could be the greatest injustice since they impeached President Obama.
How many times do we have to have this discussion? Once they discovered the truth about his background, they had no choice but to impeach him. There were always rumors going around, but liberals like you just dismissed it as bigotry from right-wing journalists. Once they finally had proof that he was, in fact, a Democrat, there was no alternative.
Allow me to put this another way, mate. If the Bleeding Heart gets us involved in this crusade against video games, who's gonna get all the credit?
Well, I suppose.
Let's face it, mate, you're not the most photogenic superhero in town. They usually have to use a fisheye lens just to get all of you on screen at once, whereas the Bleeding Heart is a hot property.
Yes, she's a regular media darling. If good looks, intellect, charm, and charisma are your bag.
So what we need to do is find you a bigger and better target. We need a group of villains so detestable that everyone hates them, and yet so toxic that everyone fears they may one day destroy civilization as we know it.
Single mothers?
For the love of...
Now wait a second. Hear me out. They're an easy target. The media is always looking for an opportunity to make them the scapegoat for something. They're too busy working and raising their children to exercise their right to reply. They're too poor to take legal action. There's practically no downside here, old chum.
Apart from further victimising one of the most persecuted social groups in the country just to get our fame on.
Okay, forget it. We'll figure the details out later. Just get on the Patriot phone and tell that menstruating moonbat that we're not joining her crusade against video games.
Are you still there?
You're not going to help me, are you?
Sorry, I papered when I should have scissored.
I'm so disappointed in you, Melvin. I have expected that Mulberry moron to let me down again. But I really thought you understood what it meant to be a social justice warrior, Melvin.
To be honest, love, I only really got into being a social justice warrior because it pisses Republicans off.
Well, that is 90% of what it means to be a social justice warrior, but you have to believe in a few genuine causes as well.
Sorry, but we've been tracking one of the most despised comic book villains in our universe, and we're expecting an attack.
Really? Who is it?
I always get their names confused. There's 3 or 4 of them, but they all look alike to me. You know, they appear human, but they actually have an alien symbiote living on the surface of their body. It looks like they're covered in oil, and the symbiote controls their mind and makes them say and do horrific things.
Venom?
Carnage?
Toxin?
No. Gretchen Carlson.
Well, if that's the way you feel, you leave me no choice but to mount a lone crusade against this vile computer game.
Sorry, Tipper, you're cracking up.
I think you mean breaking up, mate.
I know what I mean.
I think you've missed your chance to go clubbing now, mate. The offer's still open to watch a movie.
No thanks, old friend. All of this talk of vanquishing dangerous foes has got me in the mood to get back out there and find some formidable villain to conquer. I'll outshine that morally superior flag burner yet.
Fair enough, mate. I'll have a decaffeinated mocha frappuccino when you come back if you go past a Starbucks.
I go past 3 Starbucks just getting out of the Patriot Cave, old friend. Off to slaughter wrongdoers in the name of Jesus!
Hold up a second. Did you just say slaughter wrongdoers in the name of Jesus?
I did.
I'm not religious, and even I find that offensive. You claim to be a Christian. How can you possibly slaughter people in Jesus' name? He was a pacifist.
Well, that's not my recollection. He was quite the ass kicker. Remember when he cut that guy's ear off?
No, one of his disciples cut the bloke's ear off. Jesus healed his ear. How long ago is it since you read the Bible?
I saw the film. I only really remember that part because I love that song, Stuck in the Middle with You.
You're scary sometimes, mate. You're confusing a movie psychopath with the Son of God. Thou shalt not kill. It's in the Bible. You know, that book you wave around when you're picketing the funerals of dead soldiers.
Stop confusing me!